Hey everybody, this is Joshua with Hello Auto Group, and we have an exciting video for you today. We're going to be comparing 3 different trims from the 2024 Kia EV6 line. First, we have the Light Edition, the Wind Edition, and the GT line. So let's get into it. So when comparing these 3 different models, we have a lot of similarities between the Light and the Wind Edition, with the only main difference being that the front lower bumper has a matte texture to it, whereas this one has more of a reflective gloss texture. However, on the GT line, we have a completely different front bumper. For starters, the lines are horizontal on the grille. You have a lower bumper spoiler, and this car does come with a sunroof, whereas the other 2 models do not. Now, comparing these 3 different trims in the Kia EV6 line, all of them are the same in terms of horsepower, battery size, and all of them come with a fast 800-volt charging port. However, there is an option for a GT that comes with over 570 horsepower. Now we're going to compare the differences in the interiors between these 3 different trims. For starters, over here in the GT line, you have a matte finish, whereas in the other 2, you do not have that. You have a cloth finish on the dashboard. Over here on the steering wheel, we have a flat bottom in the GT line, whereas the other 2 are round. Now Kia normally uses this flat bottom of the steering wheel to give it more of a sporty look, and it tends to be in their GT line vehicles. Next, over here in the center console, you have 4 different touch options to control the ventilation on the driver and passenger side seats. Now the Wind has that option, but they're buttons, not touch, and the Light does not have ventilated seats. Now moving on to the chairs, we have a few differences between these 3 different trims. For starters, in the GT and the Wind, you have leather seats, whereas the Light Edition does not have leather seats, they have fabric seats. Furthermore, on the GT line, you have this white accented leather that the Wind does not have. So when you compare all 3, the biggest difference would be the Wind and GT have leather and the Light has fabric. Now all 3 cars have really cool features inside that we're going to go over briefly, because I know we're comparing the differences, but while I'm here I want to show you guys the really cool features in these cars. You have dual climate in all of these cars, which I always go over how nice it is because the driver's side prefers a different climate than the passenger side. It's a really nice thing to have for long road trips, for people who tend to argue or have differences in opinion, and anything else that helps people feel more comfortable on a long ride. Between all 3 cars, we have a 12.3-inch infotainment display that's touchscreen and customizable to your liking, and you have the same size digital gauge cluster showing your speed, whether or not doors are open, the amount of charge you have left, and a bunch of other things. Now the similarities in the front of these 3 trims is really nice. All of them have dual climate, which is really nice because the passenger and driver can choose their own type of AC climate. All of them have the same center console with the aforementioned differences of the buttons over there in the front for ventilated seats. They all have this really nice wireless charging port for your phones, which is really cool because you could just set your phone there and focus on driving rather than have to rummage around for a cable or get anything else connected. Now in terms of connecting cables, all of them have a USB-A and USB-C port, and you have 2 cigarette lighters here in the front. The interiors are all very nice, they're all very similar, but the GT line does have more of a refined look and an upscale feel to it. Now over here on the rear of the Kia EV6, I'm currently sitting in the Wind model. However, all 3 are pretty much the same, with the main and only difference being the fabric used. You have leather over here in the Wind, leather in the GT, but again, fabric in the Light. Depending on your preferences, that might make a difference in which car you want. Now these cars have some pretty cool features. What I really like is the AC vents and where they're positioned. They're over here on the door A pillars, which is really nice because you get it at a nice level to your face and body, whereas when cars normally do include this, and that's if they even have AC vents in the rear, it would normally go down here in the middle. You have nice storage compartments on the driver and passenger side chairs. You have built-in USB-C ports on the front chairs, but it's perfect for your passengers. You have a really nice cup holder that actually slides up and closed in case you want to put other things on here or have a better grip in these fast cars. You have door speakers, a fabric cup holder, and overall just a bunch of space back here. It's very comfortable, it's very welcoming, and this is a car that I really like. I love the space that they use and I love the design in the back. Now over here in the trunk area of the 2024 Kia EV6, there's a bunch of space, and all 3 cars have the same amount of space. Now the only difference between these 3 trims is the cargo area. The Light Edition does not have built-in subwoofers, and that sucks because I personally love sound in my cars. I love the feel of the bass, and this car does not have that. But on the upside, you do have more space to put stuff down here and to be more organized. When looking at the trunk of these three cars, like I mentioned, there's just a bunch of space going on. You have these 60/40 folding chairs that increases the amount of space that you have. And it's perfect for anything from carrying luggage, work stuff, hauling, or even going camping. So after everything we talked about today in this video, which of these three trims is best for you? The Light, the Wind, or the GT line? Let us know down in the comments. This is Joshua with Hello Auto Group, and have a good one.